I know my father was very, very interested in the war effort, and as a result, he got appointments to the Naval Academy for Bobby Tom and Don Whitmire, who made All-American at the Naval Academy. Joe Steffi, who had played at Baylor years before I attended Baylor, but he was at Tennessee at the time, and he went to West Point and made All-American at West Point. But as I said, there were a number of, more than a dozen guys that were on the 1943 Orange Bowl team that made All-American at Alabama or made it later at another school as far away as UCLA. They had the Navy V-12 program, which was who we played in the Sugar Bowl in 1945, January of 44. Grantland Rice, who was well known as a sports writer, and at the time he was writing for the New York Times, and he was there, and he wrote the next day after the game, it was the greatest game he had ever seen. It was 29-26, and on the last play of the game, Gilmer had thrown 7 passes. On the 8th pass, he completed it. And Tippy McConnell, the right end, went down. It was a crossing path, and Ralph Jones, the left end, went down and it was crossing like this. Tippy's objective that day was to block the safety, Duke safety. He tripped, fell down, did not block the guy. He had Ralph by his right foot, and Ralph was, Clem probably remember this, but Ralph was just trying like hell to pull loose, and he was pulling this guy down the field, and anyway, the rest of the Duke team caught up, and of course, they tackled him, and the game was over. It was the last play of the game. Well, it was shifting. You would shift over if you were the left halfback. You would shift directly behind the center, and the center would snap the ball directly to you. The quarterback was titled the blocking back. That's what Griska used to play, his blocking back. And the right halfback would shift up right behind the right end. The fullback would shift over and back just a little bit, because a lot of those plays back then was the left halfback handing off to the fullback, and he'd run into the middle of the line. But the guards would pull and block the ends, or the linebackers. You don't have much of that today because of the guards of the interior linemen, particularly in the professional ranks, are just too big to be pulling. They don't have the speed, they don't have. Now you do see them pull some, but when they do, all they're doing is taking the end out, generally speaking. They're not leading the play.